rakeandprofit.com, coming back to you with another video. And this is going to be a controversial video. This is going to be a video that probably a lot of my friends, other YouTubers, folks aren't going to like, but I'm going to lay it out in my 100% honest, transparent self in terms of not only what I believe, but also talking with hundreds of other sellers. Okay. Now, if you're wondering what is traditional online arbitrage, online arbitrage essentially is just buying items online and then reselling it back online. Like, you know, eBay to Amazon is a form of online arbitrage. Amazon to Amazon is a form of online arbitrage, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about traditional online arbitrage, okay? And you see a lot of people on YouTube talking about traditional online arbitrage. That's buying from places like Target or Walmart or Kohl's or all the different types of, you know, online retailers, okay? A lot of people swear by the fact that, you know, the pinnacle, where you want to be is you want to be buying items, doing online arbitrage. You can make so much money. You see people doing $500,000, $1 million, $3 million, $5 million, but there's a lot of nuances and downsides to traditional online arbitrage that people don't talk about. And in my honest opinion, I think traditional online arbitrage is one of the worst business models for anybody who's a beginner. I always recommend you should start with thrifting, okay? And then once you do thrifting, I would do library sales, garage sales, auctions, local pickups, Facebook Marketplace. And then I think Amazon to Amazon flips and eBay to Amazon is really where you should be hanging out. And I have 11 reasons why. And these aren't only my beliefs. I've literally surveyed hundreds of people. I've talked to a ton of my students, followers, and I'll tell you, I've seen more people fail doing traditional online arbitrage than almost anything else out there. Now, a lot of the traditional online arbitrage sellers are going to say, you know, well, you have invoices. You don't have invoices when you're thrifting. You don't have invoices when you're doing Amazon to Amazon, right? Well, maybe you do. I mean, still technically, if you're buying from a third-party seller, you really don't have one. It's probably a little bit safer. You don't have invoices buying from Facebook Marketplace, library sales, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, this is all I have to say. When you go to bed at the end of the day, when you go to sleep, right, when you go to bed, what are those invoices doing for you? Are they keeping your account safe, but you're not profitable and you're not making any money? What are the invoices for? If I could make 2, 3, 4 times as much money thrifting, doing eBay to Amazon, Amazon to Amazon, even though it might be a little bit riskier, I'm going to do that all day long. I see more people losing money. And here's the thing, and I'm going to get into this, okay? Because I'm going to rant for a couple minutes and then I'm going to get into these 11 points. I've got everything prepared here. I literally have surveyed hundreds of people and I've gathered a ton of information here, okay? The reality is a lot of people will show really, really big numbers doing traditional online arbitrage, buying from, you know, doing the whole Nike and Adidas and all that stuff. But there's a lot of things that people aren't telling you. They're not showing you all the debt that they're in with credit cards. They're not telling you that they're going deep on just a couple of ASINs and making most of their money with just a couple of ASINs because they're in a network group or they know certain people. I'll tell you right now, most people lose money with traditional online arbitrage. They really do. And I'm going to go into 11 of the reasons why I think it's a really bad idea for the average person. Now, I do want to say, there are folks out there that I follow, you know, like Side Hustle Experiment, Flip for Miles, Fields of Profit. Like these guys are doing it. They're making it happen. And there's plenty of people out there who make money with traditional online arbitrage. All I'm saying is it's a lot harder than it looks. And I'm going to break down 11 things that you probably aren't aware of that make this business kind of a pain in the butt. You know, people will trash thrifting, right? For having to go out and spend all your time and it's not scalable. People will trash E to A and A to A saying you don't have invoices. And guess what? There's probably 10, 12, 13 things that I don't like about thrifting, E to A, and I talk about them all the time. But it seems like a lot of these traditional OA people, they don't talk about it. Or if they do, it's kind of hidden, right? And I'm going to break it down right now, okay? Again, you can make money with traditional online arbitrage, but in my honest belief, it's a lot harder and more challenging than you think. And more people than not that I talk to quit traditional online arbitrage because it's not as profitable and it's not as easy and it's just not as sexy as a lot of people talk about. And I'm curious, before we get into this, we're live right now. Drop a comment down below. I saw Amanda in the comments. I want to know who here is making money with traditional online arbitrage, right? I don't care about your orange bars. I don't care about how much revenue you're doing. Are you actually paying yourself and making money? It's sexy going on YouTube and showing a whole bunch of Legos and buying all these things and chocolates and sneakers. But are you really making money? Most of the traditional online arbitrage people that I know in my inner circle that I talk to, they're not making any money. And if they are making money, they don't tell you about the $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 of debt that they have, the Amex credit card that's maxed out. But let's get into it because I'm going to break it down in this video. Number one of the things that sucks about traditional online arbitrage, and you don't deal with this when you're thrifting or doing A to A, or if you're doing eBay to Amazon, canceled orders. This is something that is a challenge for a lot of traditional online arbitrage sellers. And of course, I'm sure over time you learn about how to get around it and the different nuances and the different distributors that you can go through. But canceled orders is a real thing. You might get really, really excited about purchasing an item, and then you buy a whole bunch of them, and guess what? They cancel your order because they say no resellers. Who here has had that happen? I've seen it happen hundreds of times. And I know a lot of the traditional OA guys talk about it, but it's a real thing. You want to know how many times I've gotten an order canceled on eBay? Maybe I've probably gotten like maybe 20 or 30 orders canceled, honestly. But that's over like 15, 20, 30,000 transactions. And if they cancel an order, it's only one item. I'm only picking one item, right? Whereas if you spend all this time and you buy a leads list and you do all this research and you get a VA, so on and so forth, and you buy it and then they cancel the whole order. Your $3,000 order is canceled. Amanda says, yep, canceled orders were horrible and it was more common than led to believe. Yeah, people don't talk about it, right? People like to trash E to A and A to A and thrifting and all this. You don't have invoices. Well, what about your canceled orders? Okay. Yard sales, estate sales, storage units. I'd rather buy the junk people don't see value in. That's what I buy in my eBay to Amazon business. Is all stuff that people think is junk and isn't value. Number two, and this is a good one. Compared to thrifting, E to A, you're going to have way more price tanking with traditional online arbitrage. Now, the gurus are going to say, well, Steve, you got to learn how to read the Keepa charts, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, the deal is, for the most part, if you're able to find a deal online, everybody else can too. Now, the difference is when you're doing A to A or E to A or Facebook Marketplace or thrifting, there might only be a couple of those out there. They're discontinued. They're rare items. But when you're buying a whole bunch of Nike shoes or you're buying an item, traditional online arbitrage, why can't everybody else do that? What if you get 6 or 7 sellers that buy 10, 20, 30, 40 each? What do you think is going to happen when you get 6 or 7 sellers that come on with a 50, 60, 80, 100? That price is going to tank. Now, of course, there's ways around this. You want to be looking at the Keepa charts and looking at the previous history. And, you know, they talk about this a lot in traditional online arbitrage, building a moat and stacking coupons and gift cards and, you know, trying to find something locally that not everybody else can. Of course, there's nuances to it. But what I'm trying to say is it's not as sexy as it sounds. People are going to trash you and make you sound like a lunatic for thrifting, doing E to A to A, saying you don't have invoices. But why don't they talk about the canceled orders all the time? Why don't they talk about the likelihood of price tanking? And the thing is, if I have an item that I buy and the price tanks, which it happens 10% of the time, that's only on one item. Maybe I have 1 or 2 in stock. Whereas you bought 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. They don't talk about that. And then the cash flow issues that you have to deal with that, or losing money on 40 or 50 or 60, or you got your money held up and now everything tanked 30%. Jermaine says, I'm loving this channel, Steve, going live every day. That's the new goal. I want to start going live every day for the next 30 days. Again, guys, I think online arbitrage has potential. I know there's people who make money with it, right? But you really need to build your network. You really need to, you have to invest a lot of time, invest a lot of money. And I would say the biggest thing with traditional online arbitrage is your network. A lot of the guys who are having success that you see online, it's because they're all friends with each other and they share leads and they all go in on like a specific deal that's going on. How much would you pay a 40-hour-a-week VA to do online listings in one category such as books? Probably about $300-400 a month. Number 3, higher risk with traditional online arbitrage versus E to A, thrifting, so on and so forth, because you're investing a lot of money or more money into a single ASIN, into a single product versus spreading risk amongst more products. So what do I mean by that? Like, for example, in my store right now, I'm averaging about $60,000 a month. I only have 400 items in my store, and 98% of them, it's only a one-off item. It's one single item. So if it tanks in price or it doesn't go well or I have to wait on it, I don't have a ton of cash flow held up. I can lower the price, I can wait, it's fine. But What if I'm doing 50, 60K a month and I only have 10 ASINs? Yeah, it's a lot easier to manage. It's a lot easier to reprice. But what happens when those prices tank? A whole bunch of people come on the listings. You're at higher risk of cash flow issues and losing money with traditional online arbitrage versus thrifting, E2A, A2A, Facebook Marketplace, because you're going really deep versus going wide. You're also going deep into an item that is very popular. Contrary to popular belief, in my opinion, I think it's better to go after longer tail, slower selling items that aren't as sexy, that are kind of flying under the radar, because you're not at risk as much of counterfeits, and you're not at risk as much as getting IP complaints because people don't think they're valuable. There was a comment that just came in before saying, I like to flip the items people don't see value in. Me too. There is a risk of reselling on Amazon without invoices, and I would be lying to everybody right now if I didn't tell you Amazon is bringing down the hammer of not having invoices. They are. You've got to be careful. You've got to understand how to read a keeper chart. You've got to avoid listings with the storefront on it. You've got to avoid listings with sharp declines. You've got to stay away from products that are too popular if you do not have invoices. But I'll tell you guys right now, and I don't give a damn who you are, and I will say this to your face, I would rather make money in my business than go to sleep with a goddamn invoice under my pillow. I don't care. Maybe if the world ends, I could burn all the invoices and I could stay warm and I could feel nice and safe and protected. I'm in business because I want to make money. I'm not in business to deal with all this price tanking. I'm not in business to have cash flow issues, and I'm not in business for super small margins and ROIs. I want to make money. I am a freaking, at heart, I'm a thrifter, hustler. I mean, I guess you could call me a thrift store vulture, right? I like to go in and find the deals and pick items and make money. My whole goal, and I've been telling you guys this, I'm not trying to become a multimillionaire off of Amazon. I want to pay myself $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Okay, I want to cash flow, pay myself. Last month, I paid myself $8,000 in my business last month. Paid myself after investing in my team, VA, so on and so forth. If you want to become a multimillionaire doing Amazon, you're going to have to scale that son of a gun really high with OA. You're going to have to be, if you want to make yourself even $300,000-$400,000 a year profit, like, you know, making 30, 40K a month, like really, really good money where you can build real wealth and pay yourself a good amount, you're going to have to do millions of dollars. I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with the stress of all that with Amazon. Amazon's not your friend. Amazon's your enemy. Okay, I'll tell you that right now. They don't like you. They don't care about you. You're nobody to them. So what do? I use them to make 5 to 10K a month in cash flow. Sue me. Wow, what a bad guy. I just want to make 5 to 10K and have a nice, easy business. I don't want to have to be dealing with all this price tanking nonsense, okay? Yes, there's ways around it. Yes, there's people that are 1,000 times smarter than me, and there's ways around it. But the average thrifter, beginner, who's been doing this for a couple of years, you're going to get murdered doing traditional online arbitrage, in my opinion. Number 4, profit margins are much smaller. Now, of course, there are some occurrences, and if you're really good at traditional online arbitrage and you find a really hot lead, or you're the first one in or the last one out, yeah, you can make some really killer ROIs. You know, you could stack. Sometimes there's really crazy sales that go on and discounts, and you could invest 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Some of these guys invest $100,000 in one sale and then they crush it. But who has the money to do that? Oh, I know who has the money to do that. All the people who have their Amex cards, racked up. That's a real good business model, everybody. Let's rack up our Amex bills to $100,000, go in debt, and then if we get suspended or get a Section 3, oh yeah, they're going to be real forgiving about that. No, sorry. Number 5, tracking purchases is a nightmare, okay? Now, I don't have a ton of experience with this. This is something that folks told me when I surveyed people and I've been talking to people. They said compared to thrifting or doing eBay to Amazon or Amazon to Amazon, tracking is much easier with that versus online arbitrage because you're buying from multiple distributors. You're literally having to juggle tracking from multiple distributors. Some of these people are buying from 10, 15, 20 different stores. And you're not only juggling what you paid, but you're having to juggle sales tax exemptions. You're having to juggle, cashbacks and coupons. And I mean, it's just, of course, there's solutions out there for it, and people aren't going to like this, but I don't care. I'm not on here to make friends with you guys. I'm on here to tell you how it is in terms of my truth, okay? Are people making money with this? Yes, but I think more people lose money with it versus people who do eBay to Amazon, thrifting, garage sales, Amazon to Amazon flips. Those people, you you've got to have a 10 times higher success rate than folks who do traditional online arbitrage or wholesale. I'll just put it right there. Is there a time and place for traditional online arbitrage, wholesale, private label? Yes, but they're not telling you how much money it takes. They're not telling you the risk. They're not telling you about the canceled orders, the price tanking, having to invest a ton of money, going into debt, much smaller profit margins, you know, the tracking of your numbers. And again, they're not going to tell you this because, again, I hate to say it, most people don't even track their numbers and they don't know why am I not making money? Why am I having cash flow issues? Because you're not tracking your numbers. Well, why are you not tracking your numbers? Because it's an absolute nightmare. That's what I like about eBay to Amazon or thrifting or Amazon to Amazon. When you have just a couple distributors, it's way easier to track, okay? Number 6, not knowing what websites are legit or not knowing, okay, let me say that again. Not knowing what websites are legit, I'm trying to read off my notes, which increases the risk of getting scammed. When you buy off of eBay, yes, there's a chance of getting scammed, but you're going to get your money back if you get scammed. If you buy at a thrift store, you could return it. I mean, you can't, you're there, you can physically touch it. If you buy off of Amazon, you could always return it. But if you buy from some of these websites and from some of these leads lists and you find a website and it looks like a killer deal, you can get scammed. You can absolutely get scammed. Of course, there's ways around it, but that's a risk. When I was doing traditional online arbitrage, I would come across some of these deals, but I'm like, what's going to happen if they don't ship it out to me? What is this payment processor that they're using? So again, keep that in mind. Number 7, having to juggle tons of coupons and gift cards, and what happens when there's returns and gift cards, and I mean, it's an absolute nightmare having to juggle all of that. Is there a system for it? Yes, there is, but for the average person, it's way easier just to do Amazon to Amazon or eBay to Amazon or thrifting. How do you get ungated in Phillips? You have to find a retailer and buy 10 of it. So just go to some of your retailers like Kohl's or go to, so Amazon is cracking down on that, but you just have to find a retailer who sells Phillips and buy 10, get the ace, and just do some research, type it into Facebook, into the groups or whatnot. Number 8, difficulty with sales tax exemption for all the various suppliers. So for the various suppliers, you're going to have to get tax exempt. Becoming tax exempt isn't a huge process, but it is. It's one more thing that you're going to have to do. For me to get sales tax exempt on eBay, I just had to do it once, right? For my state, thrifting, I only had to do it once. But if you're going to get sales tax exempt at Walmart or Target or all these different distributors, it's just one more thing, and it's a process and it's a holdup. So again, sales tax is important to become exempt because it'll eat your profits away. In Connecticut, that's 6.35%. Who here's learning something right now? That it's not all sunshine and rainbows. That's going to be real fun, getting sales tax exempt. I know Amanda's in the house. How's that been for you, Amanda, getting sales tax exempt at all these different suppliers? It's a big job. It's a real big job. Do you have to get ungated in books? No, you don't have to get ungated for most books. It will say like apply to sell, and sometimes it'll require an invoice for textbooks. You're not going to be able to ungate for that, but for most books, you just have to push through and it'll auto ungate you. But if you have an account after like 2017, 2018, you're not going to be able to sell most textbooks, which you wouldn't want to because there's a risk of counterfeit or getting sued by some of the law firms out there. Okay, so we talked about difficulty with sales tax exemption for all the suppliers. Number 9, VAs not having access to certain websites like GameStop, for example. So there's certain websites out there that your virtual assistants are not going to have access to. Now, I don't know too much about that. Again, I surveyed a lot of people and this was a complaint. Virtual assistants not having access to certain websites. I don't know why that is. I'd recommend getting a VPN. Amanda says only way around it is a prep center in a tax-free state. Yeah, there you go, Amanda. So that's a solution right there. So if you don't want to deal with that issue, having to get tax exempt at all the different places, get a prep center that's in a sales tax exempt state. But guess what they don't tell you, sometimes you know what happens with the prep centers? They get blacklisted. What does that mean? Say you're buying from Target all the time and it's all good, but then you change to a tax-free state prep center. They will blacklist that address as this is a reseller address, and they'll just cut you off. I don't know if you knew that, Amanda, but this happens all the time. So again, are there solutions? Are there ways around these? Am I saying, online arbitrage sucks forever and you can't make money? No. But it irks me at the comments that people make. These traditional online arbitrage Arbitrage guys, they trash what we do. They trash thrifting, they trash eBay to Amazon, they trash Amazon to Amazon flips, they trash anybody who buys an item without an invoice. But guess what? Here's my revenge right here. I'm trashing you right now for all the things that you don't talk about. You don't talk about these things. You're just gonna scale really quickly and you've got those nice invoices and it's just all sunshine and peachy and rainbows. I swear to God, half these guys that talk about online arbitrage aren't even doing it and making $1. They're just posting content. They're full of you know what. All right, number 10, virtual assistants sharing leads with other Amazon sellers. This is one thing that I don't have to worry about in my business. I have virtual assistants. They could share my replens list. They could share a lead. But even if you had my replens list, you have to put in the work to source those items because there's only one available and it might not be available in a couple of weeks from now. You have to have systems in place to be able to source that item. Whereas if I'm doing traditional online arbitrage and say I hire a virtual assistant for $400 a month, 40 hours a week, they're going to use tactical arbitrage, they're going to use Nepeto, they're going to do sourcing for me, they're going to do manual sourcing for me, so on and so forth. Well, guess what? What's stopping them from sharing it with Amanda, sharing it with what up storage auction pirate, sharing it with him in California, right? Nothing, because they could double their income and triple their income. And guess what it's going to cost you on the back end? Price tanking, and more price tanking. I don't have to worry about that. Oh, you've got your invoice. You've got your invoice, baby. But I got the profits. Yeah, I could be suspended. I could get kicked off next month, next year, but guess what? I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but I could get hit by a train. I could be driving home and get killed. There's risks in life, okay? You have to mitigate the risk, and that's what a lot of these people don't tell you. You have got to mitigate your risk. That's the way around it, you know? You've got to mitigate your risk, and there's ways to do that with traditional online arbitrage as well. Number 11, virtual assistants not being able to purchase on your behalf, or if you do, you give them your credit card, you increase your risk of fraud. That's one of the things I love so much about eBay to Amazon. I could just have my credit card stored in the back end of eBay and they could only see the last 4 digits and they could purchase on my behalf. Yeah, I'm sure there's some ways they could scam me, but it's way less than doing traditional online arbitrage. So those are 11 things in terms of why I think online arbitrage sucks. Now, you know, I could probably create a video, 11 reasons why online arbitrage is amazing. You know, there's different reasons for it. You have invoices, right? You don't have to worry as much about getting kicked off. But what they don't tell you is there's plenty of online arbitrage sellers who get Section 3s and get kicked off. Oh my God, he said it. I said it. Why don't they say it? Because they're trying to sell you a course. Oh, Lord. Most people don't have your best interests in mind, okay? I'll tell you that right now. It is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. I have courses and stuff, but I shit on eBay to Amazon all the time. I do. For anyone who's in my program and my course, I talk about the good and the bad. I talk about the good and the bad with thrifting. I trash a lot of these things, but I try to keep it balanced. I try to talk about the good and the bad so you can make a good, informed educational decision. I want to know who here is actually making money with traditional online arbitrage. I would love to know. Most of the online arbitrage people I know are trying to get into wholesale. Why are you trying to run away from something that's so good? I'm not running away from eBay to Amazon. The only time I ever ran away from eBay to Amazon was when I got scared because all these traditional online arbitrage sellers and wholesalers were shitting on E to A for not having invoices. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe I am stupid. But then I realized, holy crap, I have a system. I have a process. I have, you know, things that I do to keep my account safe. Now, again, it doesn't mean in a week from now I won't get kicked off. It's possible. It's 100% possible. Just like I could walk across the street and get hit by a car. It could happen. I just might not look, right? I could do something silly. My team could source something silly. It can absolutely happen, but I want to make money. I don't know. Some of you guys just want to look cool on social media. I feel like a lot of you guys, not you guys, but a lot of people out there, it's like they just want to be safe. They want to be safe. Yeah, I want to know who's making money with online arbitrage. Can someone tell me? Please. I know a lot of you guys just want to be safe and you want to live forever and nothing's ever going to go wrong. And that's why you do Amazon is because, you know, you want to make a little money and be safe. I want to make a lot of money. For me, 5 to 10K a month is a lot of money. I like that. And I want to invest that money in index funds. I want to invest that money in other businesses and build softwares. And I want to invest it in real estate. I don't want to have all my money on Amazon. That's stupid. I don't want to look cool. I want to make money. Yeah. Exactly. But storage auction, you are, man, you're killing it, dude, on YouTube with the storage auctions. Man, I swear to God, the other day I was watching some of your videos in Jeebus, and I was like, damn, like that is such a cool business model. You literally go buy these auctions, and like those types of videos go viral on YouTube. Plus you could sell stuff at garage sales on eBay and Amazon. And I'm like, damn, but it is a lot of work. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm cut out for that, but that's a cool business model that you run. So here's the 11 reasons why online arbitrage sucks. Number 1, canceled orders. Number 2, much higher likelihood of price tanking. Number 3, higher risk investing a ton of money into a small amount of ASINs versus spreading your risk, which some people do. Number 4, much smaller profit margins. Yep, your margins are way smaller than what I do. I'm not saying what I do is great, but it's a lot better than what you do. And anyone here who does A to A or E to A or thrifting, you know that. Yes, you've got your sweet little invoices and they keep you warm. You can knit them together and make a real nice blanket, but your margins are really small and you're in huge amounts of debt. Number 5, tracking purchases is a nightmare. For anyone who's been purchasing from multiple distributors, you already know. And if you don't know, you're probably in debt and not making money, but you're showing those orange bars and looking really cool on social media. Number 6, not knowing what websites are legit or which ones are going to get you scammed. Number 7, having to juggle tons of coupons and gift cards, which at scale can be a nightmare. Number 8, difficulty with sales tax exemption, and a lot of reasons why people are getting sales tax exempt and using prep centers that aren't in sales tax exempt states is because a lot of times those prep centers in sales tax exempt states get blacklisted. Oh, you just learned about that. VAs not having access to certain websites, VAs sharing leads with their Amazon sellers, buying leads lists that are tanking, VAs not being able to purchase on your behalf, or if you do give them their credit card, you increase your risk of fraud. So yeah, what prep centers do you recommend? Little Owl Prep is a really good prep center. Virginia, what is that called? Virginia Prep? I think that's, what is that one called? The one that Joji uses. I think it's Central Virginia Prep. That's a good one. Those are the 2 that I know. Do some research though. If you just go to Google and type in Amazon prep centers, you have to call them, talk to them, figure out if it's a good fit for you or not, post in the Facebook groups. But, those are the 2 that I know. So Little Owl Prep is really good though. So yeah, I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if anybody needs any tissues, I'm here for you. I will give you some tissues to wipe your tears off your eyes of the reality of online arbitrage. I'm being a jackass. I'm slightly kidding, but I'm irked. There's a part of me that is just like, you know what? I'm sick of getting bullied. I'm sick of my students. I'm sick of the thrifters. I'm sick of the eBay to Amazon people. I'm sick of the Amazon to Amazon booksellers and the people who are buying, from third-party sellers. I'm sick of us getting bullied because at the end of the day, I'm here to make money. And hey, if my Amazon account gets banned one day, I've been doing this for over a decade. I know I'm talking selfishly right now. I'll be fine. I'll figure it out. I'll find a way to get another account, partner with somebody else. I'll sell on a different platform, or maybe I'll say, screw you, Amazon. I won't sell on Amazon at all. It's fine. What site do you recommend to obtain your VA? Onlinejobs.PH. That's the best one. I know you had a video on it a few years ago. Is it still relevant? 100% relevant, Will. Yum, yum. Onlinejobs.ph is a website that it's like a headhunting website. So you have to pay like $50 a month. But once you hire a VA, you could cancel it and you don't have to pay it anymore. And you just pay them through PayPal or Wise. So one tip I also wanted to give, if you're going to hire a virtual assistant, this is something that we've been utilizing over the last couple months, and it's been great. What's up, Joe G? When we hire a new virtual assistant, we hold 10 to 20% of their pay for the first 5 to 10 weeks. You can do it shorter or longer duration, and we hold that money in a reserve. So say we're paying them $500 a month. Over 4 to 10 weeks, we're going to hold anywhere from $250 to $500, and that's going to be in reserve. So maybe it's for one of my VAs named Jane, right? Let's just say Jane. So I'm going to say, Jane, we want to hire you. We want to work with you after all the interviews. But one of the things that we do is we hold a small portion of your income until the day that you leave, or you can say 1 year from today, this gets unlocked and we give it back to you. And the reason we hold the money is it keeps people accountable, and it keeps virtual assistants from scamming you. It keeps virtual assistants from most importantly, ghosting you, because this is one of the challenges of hiring a new virtual assistant, is actually keeping them on board, working hard, keeping them accountable, and having them not ghost you or sell your leads if you're doing traditional OA. So by holding a reserve amount of money, which is theirs, and a lot of big companies in the Philippines do this. This is how I learned about it. They hold a small reserve because it holds leverage against them for them to behave appropriately. So that's a little tip for you guys if you're hiring virtual assistants. I don't know if anybody here is doing that, but that's been very helpful for me. Is there a way to have Amazon FBA labels organized? When I do it, it's all over the place and I have to look for each one by one. Yeah, Nakeem, so I would recommend getting a like a thermal printer. There's a bunch of different thermal printers out there that you can use. I use a Rollo printer. So if you go to rakeandprofit.com/Rollo, that's the printer that I use. And the reason that's a really great printer is because it's quick, it's fast, it never jams. The labels are really cheap. It just uses like some thermal tech, like you don't have to buy ink or anything like that. I don't know what it's using, some type of toner or whatever it's using. And it prints one label out at a time. So every single time you list an item, a label will print out one by one. Now, in order to utilize that, you're gonna need a third-party listing software. There's a bunch of them out there. I use GoToLister. So I would check out GoToLister. It is $50 a month, but you'll list a lot faster. You can list like really quick. They give you a bunch of profit analytics. They keep things organized. You don't even have to leave GoToLister. You can print labels and batch shipping labels all within GoToLister. There's a ton of benefits. So GoToLister, Rollo printer, that'll solve your problem. Of course, the Rollo is going to be $200 and GoToLister is $50 a month, but that's the price. Exchange your time for money or money for time. You're going to have to choose. Have you been seeing any slow sales? A lot of Amazon saying slow sales, mainly OA sellers. Not for me. I mean, the items that I'm picking, guys, are items that don't have a ton of sellers. They're under the radar. They're not super popular. So you'd think I would have slow sales. My sales are very consistent, very consistent, because I'm picking up items that don't have a ton of competition. You don't have 20 people coming on and tanking the price. And, I cast a wide net. So my sales are very consistent based on, how much money I'm spending. So I haven't noticed that at all. Thanks for your tips, brother. I certainly will use your affiliate link when I get my VA. Hey, well, I appreciate that. If you go to rakeandprofit.com/VA, that will redirect to my affiliate link for Onlinejobs.PH. But honestly, you don't have to. I just appreciate you being here. But yeah, thank you so much. Yes, Joji in the house. Joji. If you guys aren't following Joji Davenport, man, this guy sold, so he's a chemistry teacher. He's actually quitting his job. I believe he posted that publicly. Hopefully I'm allowed to share that, Joji. But he's quitting his job soon, I believe, and he's going full-time. But he, as a full-time chemistry teacher, this son of a gun did $100,000 profit buying books from Amazon without invoices. I mean, I guess you have an Amazon invoice, but still you're buying from a third-party seller. So I don't care what anybody sells. It's probably safer than thrifting and E2A, but still, you don't have a real invoice. You're buying from a third-party seller. But anyways, he did this all while working a full-time job, and he buys books from Amazon, has them shipped to a prep center. I think he's using Central Virginia Prep. Goes to the prep center, gets shipped to an FBA warehouse, and it sells. He did $100,000 profit, like put in his pocket. I'm not talking about some of these traditional online arbitrage who say, I made $100,000 profit. But then you look at their Amex card and they're $322,000 in debt at 23 years old. Yeah, that's a real good business model right there. You ain't gonna read about that in the financial books, or maybe you will. I don't know. We live in a crazy world nowadays. The guy's unbelievable. Follow Joji Davenport. He came out with a new software as well for anyone who wants to buy books from Amazon, to flip on Amazon. It's called BookMine. Go to his channel, go check him out, watch his videos. Seriously, the guy's unbelievable. His partner, Victor Gallegos, this guy, he's on a whole nother level too. I mean, I'm not saying he's on a whole nother level than Joji. These guys are both like extraterrestrials, but he did $155,000 profit. The guy used to work a government job and he retired early, and now he just buys books from Amazon and flips them on Amazon. $155,000 profit on $550,000 in sales, paid himself. And I guarantee this smart guy doesn't have $322,000 of debt on Amex. How much debt do you have, Joji? I want to know. I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I would rather make way less money and actually put it in my pocket and not have a huge pile of debt in the background and actually increase my net worth versus showing really, really big numbers and big orange bars and then having all this debt. Like, yeah, I look super cool on social media. I sell all my courses, but I feel like the devil's waiting for me if I do that. I don't know. That's just me. I'm not saying all the OA guys. There's some really good ones out there. Side Hustle Experiment, really good one. I know Romer the Romer's done some online arbitrage, but I don't think that's his main business model. It's wholesale now. I know Fields of Profit is a good guy. I know Flip for Miles is a good guy, but these guys have been doing it for years and years, right? Zero debt. Wow, what a surprise. Like, I'm so shocked. These are the types of people that I like to learn from. The Joji Davenports, the Amandas, you know? I like to learn from the Victor Gallegos, right? I like to learn from the people doing it, making money. And guess what? Guess what? If Joji gets his Amazon account banned, which is highly unlikely selling used books, unless he gets like a counterfeit and gets a lawsuit or something, but still he has systems and processes in place to avoid that. Guess what? He's already made a ton of money. And guess what? If he really had to get another account, he could. The same with me. I could get another account if I ever get banned. I probably shouldn't say this, but I could easily get another account. Guaranteed, easily. It's going to be a pain in the butt, but I could easily get one. Matter of fact, Avery, Romer the Romer, he got shut down 5 times, and that wasn't even from E to A or A to A. He was doing, I don't even know what he was doing. He was doing some other stuff, but he's still alive, and I think he's done over $1 million, close to 2 million in the last year or so. So it's like some of you guys are just way too scared, too fragile. Like, if you knock me down, I'll tell you this right now, you might knock me out, okay? But I'm going to get back up again, and I'm going to keep fighting, and I'm going to keep going. Or I might just say, hey, I didn't like getting punched in the face. Maybe I don't want to deal with Amazon anymore. But there's no way you're going to take me out, hopefully, right? And that's what you have to do. And like that's how you have to be as an entrepreneur. You have to be smart, and you have to be willing to get knocked down, and you're going to go through some challenges and struggles and issues, and it's not all sunshine, and it's not all you're going to make millions of dollars, and you're going to fight. You're going to have to fight, but there's a big reward at the end of the day. There really, really is. Yeah, Avery Romer says at his event, Avery Romer equals hard to kill. Still love that quote. You've got to be hard to kill in business. That's what Avery says. You guys are going to get IP complaints. You're going to get a counterfeit one day. You're going to get returns. You're going to get a lost shipment. And they're going to lose. There was a guy I was talking to. They lost a $10,000 shipment of his. That sucks. But you've got to be hard to kill. There's a lot of money out there, guys, and I've done this. I've lived this over the last decade, guys. I literally went from, if you go back to my YouTube channel to 2013, you could see me living at my parents' house. I had a net worth of like $1,200. Now, a decade later, I've done it. I have a net worth over $1 million. I own multiple real estate properties, right? I have a very sizable, at least in my opinion, brokerage account, right? It's not huge, but I've become a millionaire doing this, right? Doing what I preach. And now it doesn't all come from Amazon, right? But Amazon's been a vehicle where I've been able to take cash flow and invest in other things, whether it's creating a program of mine, right? Or it's been building, my real estate portfolio, or building the index funds. Like, I take the cash flow and I invest it in other vehicles. That's what I do. That's just what I do. There's a million ways to skin a cat. I hate that saying because I love cats, and I'm actually, fun little note, my mom's getting a new kitten. So I've been on the hunt for a kitten, which has actually been a lot more challenging than you would think to get a kitten in 2024. Do you know some of these people want to visit your house in order to get a kitten, which has been kind of weird, telling my mom, like, all right, Mom, we're going to have random strangers come in the house because they want to visit to make sure we're not doing like a breeding compound or something like that. I don't blame them, though. There's really cruel people out there. But that's all I got for you guys today. Smash that like button. Show some love if you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment. If you do not agree with this, let me know. I would love to know what your disagreements are. Thrift School, man. Oh, man, I love me some Thrift School. If you guys are not following Thrift School and you want to learn how to thrift, you want to learn what's a good buy and some cool items you can find at the thrift store, go to Thrift School's YouTube channel. He says, I only buy and sell kittens. I'll hook you up. I moved 40 this week. FBA, Thrift School. He's in the kitten flipping business. You should take his kitten flipping masterclass. Heck yeah, bud. Yeah, he's in the kitten business. But yeah, check out Jesse's channel. Really, really great channel. But that's all I got for you guys. Much love. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Appreciate you all. And I'll see you. Bye.